Jack Spicer is arguably the most memorable character from Xiaolin Showdown. He's one of the first main villains introduced in the show, and throughout the series, he's primarily used for comic relief. He's funny, he's goofy, he's not taken seriously by any other character on the show, and 9 times out of 10, he exists solely to be laughed at by both the characters and the audience watching him. I don't think it's possible to dislike a character like Jack Spicer. He's just entertaining. You can't help but find him funny and enjoyable when he's on screen. As I've gotten older, I think there's also another reason why Jack Spicer is such a memorable and just overall great character in this series. Sure, it helps that the series in general is just a banger with pretty much every character being memorable as hell, but Jack Spicer, as I said, 9 times out of 10, he's the joke. He's the punching bag. But then we have the 1 out of 10 odd moment where Jack Spicer is actually pretty competent. Or at the very least, he reminds the characters and the audience that you shouldn't completely underestimate him. And that is the main focus of this video. Xiaolin Showdown is just a classic. You can't go wrong with this show. It's one of the best cartoons from the 2000s, and to this day I think it's something that anyone at any age could watch and enjoy. So let's take a trip down memory lane and go over what I consider to be some of Jack Spicer's best moments in the series. The moments where he gets to shine as a legitimate character. A character you shouldn't underestimate. A character who is capable to outsmart both the heroes and other villains in this show. The only thing to know is that I won't be looking at Xiaolin Chronicles. I have not watched Chronicles. I remember watching the first episode years ago when it first aired and I didn't like it. The fact that it wasn't a sequel to Xiaolin Showdown disappointed me. I wasn't against the characters getting a slight makeover in their designs, but it just didn't look right with the way they looked in Chronicles. And did we really need to add another Omi to the show? If we needed to add another character to be part of the main team, Jermaine was right there, guys. He's begging for more screen time. Just chuck him onto the show as a main 5th member. Maybe one day if I'm really bored and curious, I'll finally sit down and watch this show. But we're not talking about Chronicles. We are talking about the good show, Xiaolin Showdown, Jack Spicer's greatest moment. Let's go. The first episode where Jack Spicer gets to pretty much be on top for a good chunk of the episode is episode 3. The episode begins with us in the middle of a Xiaolin Showdown, Jack Spicer versus Kimiko. Kimiko's temper gets the better of her and she uses the Fist of Tevagon to destroy the very mountain that both her and Jack are climbing to get to the Wu. Anyway, Jack has his first Xiaolin Showdown victory and he claims the Monkey Staff. The Monkey Staff becomes Jack Spicer's go-to Shengon Wu for the series. It's definitely one of the most efficient Wu in the series. It allows him to gain monkey-like abilities and strength. Unfortunately, especially with Jack Spicer, it also gives him the mindset of a monkey. But still, overall, I can understand why Jack Spicer came to love this Shengon Wu. A small moment I like in episode 5 involving Jack Spicer is when we're introduced to Tabimura. Tabi agrees to get the Sword of the Storm to basically prove his worth to Jack Spicer. After claiming the Sword of the Storm, Jack Spicer has an interesting reaction.
Gee, I don't know. I was hoping you'd get it to us an hour ago.
I shall be more efficient next time.
If we decide to hire you.
Even Wui is confused, but after Tabi leaves, Jack reveals why he did what he did.
Tabimura did an excellent job.
Oh, yeah. But if he knows we think that, he'll ask for more money.
Good point.
Episode 6 probably has one of Jack Spicer's greatest accomplishments in the show. The main plot of the episode is that he's built a chameleon bot, and it takes on the form of Kimiko with the intention of sneaking into the temple, replacing the real Kimiko, and of course stealing the Shengon Wu for Jack. Fast forward to the end of the episode where Omi is able to reveal to the others that this is not the real Kimiko. During their fight, Jack Spicer sneaks into the temple using the changing chopsticks. You see, early in the episode, Wuya looks down on the changing chopsticks as a Shengon Wu. She doesn't think they're all that useful. During the fight, even after the real Kimiko is able to join in, Jack for the first time has entered the vault and managed to snatch all the Shengon Wu. This is seriously one of Jack Spicer's greatest victories in the show.
And you said the changing chopsticks were useless.
My mistake. You have done well, Jack Spicer.
Evil genius, well?
Don't ruin the moment.
Sorry.
Episode 12 is a very significant episode, not just for Jack Spicer, but just in general for the story. In this episode, Jack Spicer and Omi have a Xiaolin Showdown for the heart of Zhong, a very significant Shengon Wu for Wu Ya's plans. And to probably everyone's surprise, no tricks, no cheating, no handicap, Jack Spicer just straight up wins against Omi in this showdown. Thanks to winning this Xiaolin Showdown, Wu Ya was able to create Mala Mala Zhong, and with it, Wu Ya decides to ditch Jack Spicer. This results in a very funny scene at the start of the next episode, after Mala Mala Zhong was defeated. Jack Spicer is even able to create a freaking Shengon Wu detector. Don't know how exactly he was able to do it, but he did it. And he's more than happy to ditch Wu Ya just like how she ditched him in the last episode. During the first few episodes of Season 2, Jack Spicer helps save the world. He saved Omi, Kimiko and Clay from Raimundo when he was helping Wu Ya. While it needed an energy boost to be useful, the dude created a freaking time machine. He really is the main reason why the heroes saved the world and stopped Wu Ya and was able to convince Raimundo to rejoin the team. It's all thanks to Jack Spicer creating the time machine in the first place. In episode 8 of Season 2, Jack Spicer is able to get his hands on the Sands of Time. With it, he puts together his evil dream team.
Meet Attila the Hun, Blackbeard the pirate, Billy the kid, Mrs. Cornhaven, my first grade teacher.
This episode has two of my favourite moments in the entire series. One of them is when Jack Spicer decides to use the Sands of Time to take a vacation.
Why do you look so different?
I took a year off for some downtime and came up with the greatest super genius evil plan ever.
For my other favourite moment,
Not so fast, Spicer. He who is last to be laughing laughs most loudly.
What Omi did to that sentence is what we're gonna do to you.
but it doesn't end here for Jack's dream team of evil. There's one member missing. Why have one Jack Spicer when you can have two? Jack travels to the future and recruit his future self. Like most episodes, this story does come to an end with Jack Spicer losing, but he did pretty well in this episode if I say so myself. Also, gotta ask, what happened to older Jack? We never see him get transported back to his timeline. Old Jack is just ditched by present day Jack and that's it. So is he still around in present day? Would have been kind of funny if we did have an episode where old Jack returned and it's revealed that everyone just forgot to return him to his present timeline. Episode 10 of Season 2 has to be one of Jack Spicer's greatest episodes in the entire show. For almost the entire episode, Jack Spicer is on top. He manages to get his hands on the Shadow of Fear, a very useful Shengon Wu for a character like Jack Spicer. There's also a lot of great comedy in this episode with Jack Spicer, which also just makes this an amazing top tier episode to watch. Anyway, with the Shadow of Fear, he's able to enter the minds of the main four heroes and find out what their biggest fears are. After learning of them, he uses the Shadow of Fear to bring those fears to life.
This is your worst nightmare? You're more pathetic than me!
Like I said earlier, Jack Spicer is pretty much on top for almost the whole episode. With the greatest fears of the Shaolin monks by his side, Jack Spicer's doing very well. Even Wu Ya admits that he's done a great job.
Amazing, Jack. For once you have done well.
What can I say? I was born to direct.
In episode 19, Chase Young recruits Jack Spicer. With the monkey staff, Chase puts Jack in charge of an entire army of crazy, evil, feral green monkeys.
This is the proudest day of my life.
Now sure, Jack is pretty much just a pawn in Chase Young's big plan during this episode, but it still highlights just how much of a threat Jack Spicer can be. Well, I guess in this case, it would be more accurate to say how much of a threat Monkey Jack can be. Established in previous episodes, the longer you hold on to the monkey staff, the more monkey-like you become. With his army of monkeys, Monkey Jack pretty much takes over the entire Shaolin Temple. Despite how strong he is, Monkey Jack is even more stupid than regular Jack, so it was thanks to some simple use of bananas to trick Monkey Jack into first getting in a Xiaolin Showdown with Omi, and then losing said showdown so that Jack will no longer be in monkey form. Now, like I said before, most of these episodes still end with Jack Spicer losing, but if there's another episode that I really think highlights just how much potential Jack Spicer has and why you shouldn't underestimate him, is episode 21. This is the episode where Jack Spicer is able to outsmart Chase Young and actually catch him off guard. He uses the Sphere of Yoon to trap Chase, and not only that, he gains control of Chase's tigers.
Hold on, let me check. He's right. The Sphere of Yun not only traps its subject in a cage, but gives its possessor control of its possessee's possessions. That's a mouthful.
Under Jack's command, he uses them to attack the heroes multiple times, shredding them up. Master Feng has to come in to save the day, and even he is pushed to his limit. He is an old man after all. Jack is pretty much a menace during this episode. The solution to defeating Jack was Omi deciding to save Chase Young. Despite losing in the end, the fact that Jack Spicer was able to outsmart Chase in the first place, I think is pretty damn impressive. While this video is mostly focused on Jack Spicer being a legitimate, competent villain, I feel like I should still talk about this episode. In episode 22, if the writers wanted to, this could have been a huge change for pretty much the entire show. In this episode, Omi has convinced Jack Spicer to consider fighting for the forces of good, and Jack agrees. He gives it a try, and as brief as it was, he actually proves to be a decent ally for the team when Cat Nape was attacking the group. Unfortunately, old habits die hard. Jack Spicer sees an opportunity to grab a lot of Shengon Wu while the others are busy fighting, delivering them to Chase Young in the hopes that Chase will allow him to stay with his team. During the Xiaolin Showdown between Omi and Jack in this episode, Jack unintentionally admits that when he was working with Omi and the others, he was legitimately trying to be good. This is an interesting what if, isn't it? This would have completely changed the status quo of the show. What if Jack Spicer stayed good? I mean, Robo Jack was still running around, so in a way we would still have an evil Jack Spicer as well. Season 3, episode 3 has a pretty small but funny moment that I'm pretty sure tricked everyone watching this the first time they watched it as a kid. Jack Spicer has ended up back in the Yin Yang world. He bumps into Good Jack, a version of him he left behind the last time he was in the Yin Yang world, and using the Ring of the Nine Dragons to separate it into two. Kind of funny thinking about that real quick. That means for the first few episodes of season 3, Jack Spicer wasn't whole. One part of him was in the Yin Yang world, still in good form. Anyway, Jack Spicer meets Hannibal Roy Bean. Hannibal has been trapped in here for quite a while, courtesy of Chase Young. He asked Jack Spicer to help set him free. When the Shaolin monks and Good Jack catch up, we see that Jack Spicer is trapped in the same prison. Oh dear, poor Jack Spicer, he got tricked again. Oh, but wait, a third Jack Spicer has joined the team. What's going on here? We've got 3 Jack Spicers? 2 of them claiming that one of the other Jacks isn't really Jack? This is confusing. Fortunately, Raimundo comes up with a good solution. To use the Ring of the Nine Dragons to put Good Jack and Bad Jack back together, revealing that Jack Spicer wasn't the one that set Hannibal Roy Bean free at all. It was Hannibal using a Shengon Wu to look like Jack. He tricked the monks into setting him free after Jack Spicer decided not to set him free.
So it appears that it was not Jack who acted so stupid as to free Hannibal Bean. It was me?
Jumping all the way to the 2-part season finale, Omi has decided to make it his quest to try and change the past, so that Chase Young would never become evil. The problem is that he needs to travel back in time. The Sands of Time was last seen with future Omi taking it to, well, the future, so that no one can get their hands on it. So Omi needs to go to the future to get the Sands of Time to go back in time. He decides to freeze both himself and Dojo, who wants to tag along, so that he can see his future self in the future to get the Sands of Time. Because of this, somehow, this was all Jack Spicer needed to take over the world. In an alternate timeline, eventually, Jack Spicer was able to take over the entire world. He trapped and imprisoned the monks, the villains were imprisoned. I don't know what the hell was going through Jack's mind when he set them up in the specific restraints that they're in. I think Jack Spicer went through a lot of phases when he got older. Anyway, yeah, this is probably Jack Spicer's greatest win in the entire show. In an alternate timeline, he won. He took over the whole world. No one's been able to overthrow him for who knows how long. And hell, even after Omi's able to convince the others to help him find the Sands of Time, sure, it ends with Omi succeeding, being able to go back in time, but Kimiko, Raimundo, Clay, this alternate timeline, not only did Jack still win and defeat them, it's pretty much implied that he killed them. I don't think death has ever really been a major thing in this show until now. These characters aren't just defeated, Jack killed them. They're dead. I think I've rambled on enough to prove my point that Jack Spicer, honestly, isn't as incompetent as you might think. He can be a legitimate villain, or at the very least, a nuisance / annoyance to the other heroes and villains of this show. To be honest, there's probably even more episodes and moments I could talk about, but again, I think the video's gone on long enough. Jack Spicer, I would happily say, is one of the funniest and just overall best villains in cartoon history. Like I said during the intro, I don't think it's possible to dislike Jack Spicer. He's too funny, he's too entertaining. I appreciate any feedback you guys can give to me that will hopefully make my videos even better in the future. And speaking of the future, what's next? Well, I would love to do more videos like this, that's for certain. As well as that, I've mentioned in a previous video, but I'll mention it here as well, I do have a gaming channel and AMV channel as well as this channel. I would appreciate it if you guys could consider checking out my other channels and my other content as well. And finally, one more time, thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in whatever comes next.
Okay, Jack Spicer, you have won. Now use the Shengon Wu to stop the spiders.
Not just yet. I want to savor the moment.
Let's get out of here!